folks. Sorry I'm a little late getting here. Again, that vertical and horizontal orientation, I know if you guys have said something about it. I don't know what it is with this. This is an older phone, Android, so I tried to get it horizontal so it looks good on a PC and that, but gotta go vertical, guys. Sorry. It just locks me out and it won't go live. It'll just keep saying rotate. Maybe it's my rotation I have locked that the phone won't, when I turn the phone, it won't do that. So I'll have to go up into those settings. So welcome back to the channel. And we're going to talk a little bit about stuff. A couple channels I picked up on has got given out some really good information. And I think it's stuff that is good. It needs to be brought up and discussed because it's already happening long before this June 25th mandate comes along. So I'm at the tail end. This is Wednesday. I've been out here since Sunday. Got 700 miles in. I got 2 stops left out of the 17, 16, 16, 17 stops, 16. So 14 done. Got a ride along recorded today, and I think y'all like that. It'll be next week, and tomorrow morning, I believe 9 o'clock, will be another ride along that's going to drop every Thursday. I've been scheduling them for Thursday mornings around 9 o'clock for ride alongs, and I do a lot of that recording because the day I step out of trucking and I start pivoting into another field, which I am working towards, like I said, with my businesses and that where I can be solely, over 90% at home, cash flow, and monitor, and I want to monitor and control my cash flow under my my guys, instead of being an employee for someone else. So with that said, I want to be able to look back, and I want to share my travels with my spouse, so she too can see the places I'm exploring and going to, and I can say, hey, I've been there, because some people, there's a lot of truckers tell a lot of stories out here that get a little embellished, and I think the one that I see on a lot of short reels and or long forms is these guys back in their outlaw days. I've had outlaw days. I have definitely ran back in the 90s. And we talked about this a few streams ago. Hey, I ran outlaw. It got to the point, I think a year to it, I just threw the logbook in the back. I think about once a week I'd fill out the pages just to make it look kind of good. So things didn't get so enforced on that end. But yeah, a lot of these guys would say, yeah, I could go out and run 4,500 miles and do this, do that, and I would listen to this, and I told my wife, I literally would leave Sunday night and stop sometime around Wednesday. I would at least do Sunday, Monday, maybe Tuesday night. I would either push through the night or stop, and finally I was so tired to having a sleeper truck like this that I would be so tired then that I would just lean across the steering wheel on the side of the road and just sleep for a few hours. That's how I pushed myself back then. So anyhow, as we get started with the stream, I got a little something for you guys today. So finally, the weather and everything is broken. Where get the camera turned around here. I came back earlier. Finally used my lift gate, my chair. Let's kick back. Got my tablet with some notes. I backed up into a nice green area. problem is this thing has got a nasty slope to it going down to that drainage ditch. So therefore, lift gate's level. So get my feet, get set up here. Let's see. Yeah, put the kick plate up. All right. What we have is I appreciate Tommy, and I talk about him a lot. He's brought in light of many people that speak a lot of the truth. What I really appreciate is this young lady who really puts out some solid information every week, and that is Miranda over at Trucking Made Successful. And she brought up, she dropped a video yesterday about capacities, volumes, and non-domicile drivers, and how this is going to affect the market as long as how strict it goes nationwide June 25th. But she did a short today, and that was how right now she got even caught in this, because they not only she have her YouTube channel, but they run a flatbed carrier. So the thing that has come up, that carrier, or I want to say carriers, brokers and shippers, and that is a Freightliner, not mine. So I believe that would be mine. It's too far away. You know, these damn Freightliners, if you don't set my brakes are set, so I know it's not mine. When you don't set the brakes and you open your driver's door, it's like a car alarm going off. It's annoying as all get up, and every mechanic in a shop knows it too. So shippers and brokers, they are now front running this June 25th mandate. What does that mean? That means now they will not give a confirmation to a carrier that is trying to book a load. And whether if it's contracted and spot market, but they are, I want to say the carriers reaching out to the brokers and or shippers, they have to confirm that their drivers that all right, I can see the comments this time, Miss Laura, so cool. The carriers and brokers are saying, hey, I'm not going to book a load as a broker. A shipper does not want their product on a trailer if it is going to be put out of service and their truck or the trailer, their product on that carrier's trailer is locked up or impounded or anything of the sorts. So now they're making the carriers confirm that their driver is basically domiciled and can speak and read fluently English. So that was very, I was very taken back by that. I wouldn't have thought of that, but yeah, they're already doing it right now. She said she pulled a load off the spot market, and she was surprised it had been sitting there for hours. And when she went to, I want to say, lock it in to book it on one of her trucks, they wouldn't give her the rate confirmation to take the load. She had to speak to them, and she had to verify that their driver could speak fluently English. They're doing that now. And so once she got it, she goes, I can't believe, but a lot of these brokers and shippers are doing this right now. They're vetting the carriers to make sure these drivers are fluent in English proficiency, because they don't want their loads to be locked up on an out-of-service rig. So that's already happening now. But the other thing she talked about with the non-domicile, and I'm going to try to recite, but I do have the notes here on the tablet. So, what will this mean with this whole ELP, English literature, English language proficiency? Um, when the ELDs got mandated on Trump's first term, it affected what, about 6% of drivers out there that left the market, and it drove the rates up for 18 to 24 months going forward in 18, and they finally came down and leveled out at the end of 19 there. So what percentage? And I put links down in the description, 3 from Overdrive, 1 from FreightWaves. Click on those, great information. And I appreciate when people do the legwork like that to find all these articles and piece them together. So when you start connecting the dots, you start seeing how all this can be effective going forward in the future, because you always need to look at the map of anticipation going forward. You can't live for today and tomorrow. You also got to know how to navigate the storms that are coming ahead and see that there are storms coming ahead. So as a business owner, a truck driver, you can navigate to make sure, you don't put yourself out of business. Pretty much straight up forward on that. So capacity, there's capacity and volumes. Volumes are the loads out there. Capacity is how many trucks with drivers are out there. So there's capacity and volumes. So right now, if they're looking at rates are at all-time lows right now for, it's been quite a while. So we're gonna talk about that now. Out of service with this English language proficiency, they're thinking about a 15% drop in capacity. Now, in the early 2010s, there was 80 to 100,000 violations. That was a lot. That was the peak of, a year of violations. Out of those, like over 3,000 were out of service. So now they're wondering how many, FreightWaves and some at Overdrive have chimed in and predict about 15% drop in capacity. Now, think about that. When the ELDs, that's the mandated, we had to go mandate, we had to get off paper logs in 2017 and go to electronic logs, the ELDs, electronic log data. So that was a change of, what did they say, 6%? 6% drove the rates up 25% then. So if they're talking 14, 15% of capacity drop, what's that going to do to the rates going forward in the going into the third quarter? Because that's June. The end of June is over halfway of the second quarter. So third quarter should see definitely an uptick. So third and fourth quarter, we'll see upticks in rates going up projectively. We don't know that for sure right now. So with that, spot market, now that's just rates overall. So spot market, and that could be just contract. Contracted means you have a contract and you're running a dedicated route for a shipper as a carrier. So now, what's that say for the spot market? They said a 1 to 2%. What did they say? 1 to 2% was going to change more dramatically. If they lose 1 to 2% drop in capacity, will change the rates dramatically in that market. So, and I want to say that that's somewhere like 25% or so or more, or was it, no, 15 to 25%, somewhere in there. It's in Overdrive. I just got done reading it. I hate to keep looking down at the note here, but you can go to the article. That's why I put the links to the sources down there. You can read it, and trust me, it is well written, and very happy with the way that it got, presented by them. So capacity now, if the capacity goes down, that should uptick the more availability to volume when you weed out the bad apples out here. But if capacity and volumes continue to go down, the rates aren't going to change. So it's got to be the drop in capacity for the volumes to go up, which then we'll see an uptick. So that's what they're banking on to offset all this influx that we've got in the last 2-3 years of overcapacity. Now, it's funny when people are when I say capacity, that's the amount of trucks and drivers out there. There is no truck driver shortage. Again, see right there in that Overdrive article, that is saying we don't have a trucker shortage whatsoever. Because if there was, then if there was a truck driver shortage, capacity would be low, volumes would be high, rates would be through the roof. Would it not be? So therefore, we wouldn't see rates as low as under $1. So this is ridiculous. Even at Rowan at ET Transport did the math on doing a run, a 2,000-mile run from Illinois to California. There, it was paying $1.65 one way and $1.35 back the other way. You know, Illinois to California, California back to Illinois. He averaged it out, put in what it cost him per mile, and he said it would cost him, he would take an $1,800 loss running that load round trip. You have to do your numbers. You have to know your numbers operating these trucks. You need to know what your wages cost, your fuel, what it costs per mile, your insurance, your escrow of what you do for maintenance, and what else? There was like 4 or 5 things he put in there, and he said, "This is what it cost me per mile," and he said, "I can't do it." So he turned it down, and he said he was going to be more profitable running a short run. He goes, "I can make more money running a 300-400 mile run from, say, Illinois to Wisconsin than I can from Illinois to California." He could be far more profitable. So just for him, and keeping the truck going so that driver has work. So you have to think very, very thoroughly with your numbers. So the math needs to be mathing correctly and not in a negative. So the other thing in those links is the non-domiciled. They're also going to be cracking down. They're getting statistics. The data is coming out, 13 states, and I want to say it was FreightWaves, or there's one link for FreightWaves. One of those links is the numbers for issued non-domicile license. And it was crazy ridiculous that from 2015 to 2024, Texas alone, over that course of, 8 years? 9 years. 9 years, they issued just shy of 52,000 non-domiciled CDL license. Now the questions came up of should the not only non-domiciled, but also questions of starting to structure and standardize this stuff as far as CDL testing. These CDL schools are not being audited. There's no standards. So what is being suggested, and I would like to see this be brought forth, is one test, no matter what state you live in. It's going to be, you got to go down. Say for me, when I was in the medical field, I had to go down to Lansing to take a national board test. And I think that should be the same as just go to your state go down to the capital of your state, and you go down to a testing center there, and you take a test. Once you've gone through the schools need to be accredited, say FMCSA, but by government, there needs to be a way that these the there's got to be a way they can be audited to make sure that these drivers, they can audit, and look at and maybe check and see if these drivers have got the proper training, accredited through like the NCAA. I don't want to say the National College, accredited through the college criteria and all that. That's one thing. There's colleges. There's colleges that offer associate's degree in getting. I know Baker's Baker College up there by Flint does it. Um, they did. I don't know if they still do, but you get associate's degree, take a student loan out, and you go to truck driving school. Yada yada yada. You can go to a truck driving school that my one friend Bob, he is an instructor. He drove for 10 years, and then he pivoted and went to being an instructor. He got pretty much burned out dealing with piss poor management at trucking companies. The other way you could do it is getting trained, which is a nightmare. If you go to someone like Snyder, Swift, God knows, CR England, these companies offer in-house CDL training, and you ride with a driver trainer. But you could go and Google and you can YouTube horror stories and fatalities, because a lot of these guys don't get along together in the truck, or the trainer is, I've heard and seen videos of trainers leaving the student out on the road because they're just a complete idiot. I've seen stabbings and shootings from either the trainer on the driver on the trainer. It's out there. Just Google it, and it don't take much to search engine that to see that. It's an option, but you go to get trained by the driving company, a carrier, and basically you sign like a 1 year whatever agreement contract that then you will drive for them after they get you trained. You get your CDL, but if they're paying like 60 cents a mile, they'll on average for a seasoned experienced driver, you end up driving for 35 cents a mile, because that offset helps pay back your so-called tuition. So there's a lot of shady deals going on, to get your CDL out there. So that's what they're saying, is they want to be able to audit all this stuff and see that these people are getting the proper training to get behind one of these big bullets. So, but the numbers are out there. It's in the links down below, of all these states. I want to say Maine was one, Illinois was one, California, Texas. I forget all of them. I would have to be sitting here in front of a laptop staring at it just to recite everything to you guys. You can read the articles down below. It is insanely stupid how much non-domicile means they were issued. So a lot of these, I want to say, foreigners, so try to keep the algorithm going strongly here. So these foreigners come over here from their country with a so-called commercial license or some kind of driver's license from their country, and just to show that, hey, I could drive in my country. God knows what it may be, a freaking little car, to maybe they did drive a truck, who knows. But they get issued a CDL as non-domicile because the United States is not their, or they don't have a domicile, home here. So the article's there, but basically we have a lot of those. So those need to be vetted too. So not only are they looking for the ELP, the English language proficiency, but they're also going to be vetting these guys. If they're coming in with no name on their license, or just one name like McLovin on their license, which has been issued by a lot of these left-leaning states, Yeah, they're going to probably shut these guys down because it's not legit enough. And then they have to vet and question, what's their, what experience can they do, do they have, what did they present to get this license other than, hey, I'm living, breathing, I'm a warm, ample body. So they throw them in a truck and say, figure it out on your way down. Yeah, they're not doing that anymore. And people may push back on vetting these people because of their proficiencies, whether it's the English um, reading, writing, and speaking the language. I brought it up to my spouse yesterday, which she said they're not issuing. But do you want to issue a CDL to someone and then put them behind a tanker or hazmat load that does not understand the placards, the bill of lading, and the chemicals they're hauling, and they overturn one of these trucks and create not only an immediate fatality around them, but the whole community? I mean, there is consequences to everything, but these liberal cities that are pushing back. I hate to say it, but when these people turn on you, then it's your fault. Um, I am standing strong in saying that these people need to be vetted. So you need to come here correctly, learn the language, learn the literature, be able to read, write, and speak it, and know what the hell you're doing out here, so you're not blowing through. I just this week, and we'll go into story time here in a bit. I don't want to get tangented off right now, but it is some crazy stuff that you just want to throw some foreign actor that has come over here. If their country was so damn bad, and I've said this to many, if you're going to come here because your country's so bad, don't bring your crap here. Well, this is my culture, this is the way we do it. Then stay in your damn country. If it was so damn bad, then change it. Make an effect and change your change the government running your country to where you can stay in your own culture. But don't bring your culture here and try to change us. I'm not accepting it. I do not accept that culture change, and I do not accept all this other stuff, this LGBTQIS. No, don't force something on me. You assimilate and go with the conformity of what we do here in our country. And if you don't like it, go back to your country and change your way, change it over there. But don't come here, because you're just going to hit a brick wall with me on it. Um, Now, all the articles will be there, so you do your reading. I think we all need to do our due diligence, not be a headline reader, but get into those articles. Good information, good statistics, the good data is there now for especially the non-domiciled CDL issuance over the years, over the last decade. Story time, yeah. As I got into, let's start that. So, coming fresh off that, I was going through a couple times this week in a construction zone, and every single time, I mean, if it's 50, 55, 45, just depends on how they post it. If it's not, no speed limit sign is posted, then I usually go 5 under whatever the speed limit was going into that. Because sometimes you can go into a construction zone, the speed limit 70. Usually they'll let you, if nothing's going on, no activity, but the barrels or orange cones are up, 65, 70. But usually I'll drive under that just because it gets skinny in there, narrowing the lanes up. But twice this week, and it's always, why is it always one of these Volvo torpedo turds that are just flying in the left lane, flying by you in a construction zone? And none of them have a radio, so ain't no sense yelling at them on the CB. But you're seeing a lot of that, so that makes me question already everything I'm reading on these articles. That, yeah, we need to get these guys vetted, we need to pull them off the road. And I told my wife, I said, I expect I'm probably going to get pulled in they're probably going to throw some random something for me to read and speak and all that. So I won't have a problem, but I'm sure a lot of these guys will. And yeah, so I hope there is more than a 15% drop in capacity. I really do, because of this crap from the last administration. But it's been going on for many years. But the last administration, it was at the peak of just everything was just thrown at all these foreign actors. So as far as just giving them everything without having to work for it. Story time. Anybody got any story time on their end? Uh, be interested to hear. Let me try to conjure up something of late with these guys that anything I have seen. Something crazy and off the wall type stuff, because truck drivers will see some of the craziest, gnarliest crap out here, and the most erratic driving. And not to be judgmental, so if you own a car of this model, don't take it the wrong way, but the majority, it used to be back in the 80s and 90s, the cars that got in your way or did erratic lane changes and moves were the blue-haired ladies in a Buick that couldn't see over the steering wheel. Now, it's every one of these left-leaning turds in a Subaru with the phone in their hand, and they'll go right by me. I'm already going by the exit. So as you're exiting off, I'm already going by it. I had one come around me and nearly driving through the grass to go up the ramp. And they're doing it all the time. It's like, slow down, tuck in behind me, and like in 100 yards, you get the merge right off your lane. But they are driving to where they're nearly wrecking and flipping their vehicle on erratic moves like this. Hey, if you're missing your exit, blow by it, go down to the next exit, turn around, come back. But even then, those idiots will just turn in the damn median and go back the other way. America, that's that whole first world problems of instant gratification that I talked about in the last stream. And it's just these folks everyone's in a big hurry to get somewhere, but accomplish nothing at the end. Hey, Tommy, see you in there. So, yeah, I want to say, I think I've only been in 2 accidents. One was mine back in the early 90s. So it's been well over 30 years. Spilled some coffee, and that's when I was working for Waste Management then. Driving a garbage truck, I just came from the landfill. Reached down to pick the cup, it fell over because we didn't have cup holders in the trucks then. And I looked up and a car had stopped to turn, and it was a mother and child in a Ford Escort station wagon, and pretty much split that car in half. They walked away. She didn't sue. All she asked Waste Management to do was replace her car and cover her medical bills. I came out pretty damn clean on that one. The other one was with these guys, and Laura is my spouse there, moderator in there in the chat. But yeah, it was my first new Freightliner with these guys, and I think I had it 1 year. And a dude come down in the wintertime in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and by the S-curves. He was merging on from 196 on to 131 north. I was heading up 131, just coming under the overpass on 196. And when he came down too quick because the car behind him saw he was already spinning out of control coming down the ramp. And he spun. Instead of going and merging on, he ended up going perpendicular on 131, and he hit me right on the passenger steer tire. Hit me hard enough, snapped the steer axle, pushed me in the truck over, 1 lane over. I was limped down. I mean, I was dragging the front axle down on the ground. I got back over onto the right-hand side shoulder about, say, 150 yards down the road. And got it just steered enough to it just drug it there, the front bumper. I think I got pictures of that too. I'll have to see if I can post that, and I'll have to bleep out the door, the name. but I do have pictures in my archives of that truck. So yeah, they had to put axle, springs, hangers, front bumper. Didn't even break. How it did not touch that fiberglass hood is beyond me. It was a little Honda. The officer came up and checked on me. I could see all the headlights were stopped because it was a 4-lane highway. All the headlights were shining, and I could see that car was still perpendicular, but I could see pieces and parts of it all over the highway. It's like a Honda Civic. It's like a zip popped all over that highway with him. Um, but yeah, that was crazy. Um, Another time for me, oh, my heavy haul days, I had an 8-axle walk-in floor trailer with the triaxle tractor, so we could run 11 axles in Michigan and run, like I said, I could run 200,000 pound loads. The guys told me to stop out on the main road. It was the M5 project, it was called. It was where M5 and 275 by Novi, Michigan comes together. M5 goes north there. We were out there pulling trees and running them through the tub grinder. So we were hauling the wood chips out of there to the power stations. The guy said, stop out on the main road and walk back in the job site to make sure you can get back there because there's a swamp nearby and we had rain. So inexperienced boy genius here decided, hey, I'm just going to cowboy up there. No problem. I got a cat loader up there. If I get, spinning out or anything. Well, needless to say, I slid, got near the swamp, 42 wheels, completely underwater. I'll go get the cat loader and I can jerk myself out. That truck and trailer is 60,000 pounds empty. So I get the cat loader out there. By the time I was done, I had 5.5-foot tall tires on the cat loader underwater, stuck. They had to bring out 2 oil field rig bulldozers with big winches on them. They had to winch me out. That was a whole day out there, and needless to say, I went and parked the truck so I didn't get scolded because it was my sister and brother-in-law's company. They weren't impressed with me that day. So I have learned to make mistakes, and you learn from them mistakes. So now at 58 years old, in the wintertime in the Appalachian Mountains, if I see something, I'm like, I've been there and done that, and I know what what it is just to bring a wrecker out. Even if they don't hook to you, you still got a call. You got a wrecker call. So you don't do stupid stuff. And yeah, I've done that. I've been at a landfill where I've had a D8 dozer on the front and back of me, and all of us were spinning out. And it was like, dump the load there, and they had to take 125 yards of trash and push it across the landfill because I couldn't get to the dump spot. Yeah, I've gone right there. Dow, my wife and I grew up right Midland, Michigan. It is the world headquarters for Dow Chemical, and the Dow Chemical City there. I remember I was going to the Dow headquarters to dump containers, front end containers, commercial dumpster dumping with waste management. But I remember I was turning the corner. They had me in an older truck, and I turned the corner, and the truck kept going straight. And literally two other trucks. I've had this happen on that truck and a roll-off. Turned the corner, was going straight. U-bolts came loose. Axle shifted. The axle was shifted enough that I couldn't turn it or anything. They had to come out, pick the front end up, literally just come out with an air impact off the wrecker and tighten all the U-bolts up, straighten it out the best they could, and get me going. But there was a couple hours of screwing around with that. I've had that happen with a roll-off truck at a landfill. I went to turn and the spring hanger snapped. I was so heavy that the front steer axle spring hanger snapped and buckled out from under the steer axle. And there I sat. So he had to come and he had to chain up the axle to the frame and then wrecker me over to Michigan Truck Sprint there in Saginaw to basically, they said all the bolt holes were whopped out on it, so that thing was ready to fall off. So, hey, when you want to work for a garbage company, if you want to cut your teeth and break a lot of shit and know what a truck's limit is, go work for some ragtag shit garbage company, and you will break shit left and right, and you will get the experience of what it's like. If you want to destroy a rear end, and I mean literally destroy it, the only thing there was is just the housing, I mean, I used to, that red Mac, I went through, I think, 3 or 4 rear ends on that, because we were so overweight. And just to climb the side of a landfill, if you didn't have power divider in, you would snap that through shaft on the front axle and just, it's gone. And the wheels locked up. And then they got to unhook you from the trailer, drag your truck down, and basically pull it backwards to the repair shop. But I've taken out a couple 13 speeds from overweighted um, rear ends, just for being overweighted. Um, Never lost a load, never hit a bridge. Got a lot of speeding tickets back in the day. Um, Never give me a truck that can go too damn fast because I will usually use it. So, and the horsepower. If it's got 500 horse, I'm going to use every bit of it. Um, I kind of laugh when I fly by. I tell my wife I can be looking ahead 3 miles down the road. Oh, Prime's in front of me. How do you know that's Prime? I can tell those shit turds and any other of these trucking companies out there, these mega carriers, they just doodling along at 60, 63, 65 miles an hour. And I said, oh, I got to get up here and pass them. But yeah, I don't know how these guys make money by the mile running 63 miles an hour is beyond my belief yet. Um, they're probably trying to make it up on the back end with their fuel savings. So I don't know what their payout is, but it can't be all that significant to offset their slow speed. But no, other than that, that's some of my stories. I've had some others when I was in school to be a doctor. I've dealt with down in Atlanta. I used to valet cars in Buckhead, the entertainment center down there in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've gone down to get cars, and there's gangs down there with 9 millimeters pulled out, about ready to pop each other off. And I just run back up, toss the keys to the owner, and say, "It's on you today, man. You want to go get your car, but I'd be cautious to go down there." I've watched a guy got shot in Atlanta police, getting chased while I was parking cars. Been some crazy times. Yeah. What was that? The American Pie down there by Buckhead. It's right down the road from all the strip clubs in Atlanta. It was the girls, the strippers would always come down. Tattletales was one of them from the Motley Crue song. And I remember strip club would close. The American Pie would close like what, 4 in the morning on Monday morning, so they'd be open all Sunday night. And I remember strippers would come down and flash me tits and all this other jazz. Can I get front row park? Sure. How do you say no to that? So yeah. So beauty fades, stupid lasts forever. But if you're young and pretty and you're gonna make money doing it, do it now, because at one point you're gonna be all used up and no one's gonna want to look at you anymore. But yeah, I've had some weird travels in my time. College, been to a college party, and luckily I got a degree in exercise physiology. So a couple of my good friends, big bodybuilders, they said, let's take the old man out, because I was older in my class. Let's take the old man out to a party. So I went out. I grabbed a beer that was sitting there, and of course some guy was losing his shit over. I took his beer. I didn't know, dude, I'll go buy you a 12-pack. Jesus, are you that fucking broke for a Budweiser? So he went over and calmed the whole crowd down, because they wanted to come over and beat my ass, I guess. But I don't know. I never dated through college. Raising a child, you kind of get tattooed as damaged goods when you divorce with a child in college. Girls you don't attract college girls that way. So, and surprised my wife stuck around. Where I was living and doing and all that, it's like I still had student loans and some other financial hot mess. But boy, she must have seen something beyond my financial hot mess. So we've taken about $250,000-$300,000 of debt since she's met me down. We're just over 100, and that's going to go down quick. She just paid another bank note off, so we're not spending or buying anything. We're just paying off debt, investing what little bit we got left, and not taking any trips or vacations right now. I just want to be debt free, so I have that financial freedom. So then I can set my sights on more travel time and more time with her, um, as her health allows. But yeah, we got plans. So we got an exit strategy. It's just a matter of time. Time is it. So I've, this year alone, I've slowed way down. Not pressing so hard, especially this quarter. I've backed off and not looking to be diving in on taking on more loads. So we're getting comfortable enough, and then my detailing business and other stuff is picking up. So I've got enough going on to offset when I get home to keep me busy and going. But other than that, take another look here. I'll turn you guys around. Man, big fat thumb there. So yeah, I got a nice sunset going on right there. So yeah, it's the Loves, and I'm at the Loves in Richmond, Kentucky, off I-75, exit 95. So yeah, I backed up. I use Trucker Path to kind of just gauge some of the truck stops. When I'm going to wind down during the day. And it said it was full. And I'm like, come on. At 3:45 in the afternoon, because I got here like at 4. And there was plenty of parking, but I picked this one because I knew backed up to the grassy area there is some dog droppings over yonder. So I just said, I'm not going to put the chair out here. I'll just throw the lift gate out, kick my feet up. And I'll probably, after we're done with the live stream here, I'm going to FaceTime the wife, and we're probably going to sit and watch a sunset. Hey, one of my customers, when did I get there? So yesterday, yeah, one of my customers, it's a husband and wife customer, and the husband was out on the road doing service calls and stuff. So she was there. She handed me an Arby's gift card, and I had to go to Arby's.com, look it up, and it was $25 gift card to, and the Loves here. Well, the Loves right here is an Arby's. So I got $25, so I guess I'm eating Arby's tonight. Normally I would never do that, but she said, I want to buy your lunch because you treat us so good. When no one's here to help unload, you just go ahead and put the stuff away in the warehouse. I don't put it away. I just put it inside the door of the warehouse and able to shut the door so it doesn't get stolen or weathered from the elements. But anyhow, she thanked me, and they've always been generous to give me some water and sodas or something like that. And I got other customers that do the same for me all the time. They'll let me stay. Do you need to use the facilities? Those folks also, they have a shower. He says, yeah, if you stay here, man, I got a shower too in the building. But he's just around the corner from that little mom and pop truck stop. I like staying at that Rocky Mount there, truck stop. So beautiful area, and plus it gives me a nice little creek and all that to go video behind the truck stop there. Place like this, I can go back there with the chair. So it's the third time I've gotten the chair out, and I'm going to definitely use it tonight, and I'll probably eat a little later. But appreciate y'all being here. Thanks, Tommy, for dropping in, man. Yesterday, Tommy, just another channel besides Trucking Unfiltered. Check him out. He keeps it real. And the Elite Army. He really, I was on my way up out of Bluefield up to Grundy, Virginia yesterday, and listening to him, man, someone in the middle of his live stream just dropped a bomb of information on him. And I don't think I've discussed it with my wife yet, but I said, man, I thought this guy was something, going into COVID. I don't know, probably 2019, 2020, somewhere in there. I thought, man, this guy seems to have it together. But boy, I'll tell you what, I've lost interest in him. And then Tommy and then this other guy has really brought in light. Some of these YouTubers out here aren't what they seem to be. They put on a whole big facade, a front, to give you the illusion that they're great, life is perfect, couldn't be any better, and they're on the up and up. And in reality, they are the hottest freaking mess. I mean, I think right now our government with foreign policies has got a better structure going on than some of these guys. So yeah, I was really taken back by that, and I just said, well, this is all the reason why I don't follow or subscribe to channels like that. So I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but he did have a good live stream yesterday, so I enjoyed that just to get some insight, because it just not that I gauge myself to that person, but it's like, to me with my channel, just keep it real, be humble. I'm blessed that I've got the health and the ability at 58 to do this kind of work and unload product that's anywhere from 100 to 400 pounds. There are guys, and I was telling my wife last night, I was watching a guy yesterday post trip in his tanker truck. The dude was so overweight that he was sweating and out of breath just walking around his truck. And I said, dear Lord, he couldn't come here and work. So you got to be physically fit. And I'm very blessed with my health and the opportunity that I am doing a better way of living driving this truck than I was in healthcare. So be it, you know. And I'm less stressed. To be honest, how that is in a truck, that I am less stressed than working in a hospital for 10 years where I was just fighting anxiety and having to bite my tongue because you're working with a lot of hen-pecking women. So love it. And I get to sit back here, and the only woman I got to, well, two women I deal with is my daughter and my wife. Other than that, got no hens barking up this tree. So anyhow, folks, appreciate y'all dropping in. I know the stream went long, but it's a beautiful day. I've been just jonesing to get out here in the chair and just enjoy an evening without being cooped up in the truck. And parking lot's awfully busy at this place. It is notoriously just a rat race out here, so I wanted to bring you guys back here and away from all that. So I'm just going to enjoy this. Stay safe. Continue educating yourself, because knowledge is learned, not taught. And we will see you all in the next video.